You guys really like the idea of reversing the entire order of a Pokemon game, making the final Elite Four your first gym leader and vice versa. So today we're continuing the trend in everyone's favorite region, Johto. What kind of chaos and absolute mayhem can we unleash if every single boss fight in Johto was reversed? Who would be the champion of this twisted lineup? Well, sit back, get cozy, hit that like button, and let's find out. Starting with the first gym leader, the previous Elite Four member, Karen. Now, she's kind of a tough one to build a team for because a lot of people think she's a dark type specialist, but she's actually classified as a mixed type specialist. But for the sake of this video, we're going to keep her as a dark type specialist and give her two Pokemon with similar base stats to the original first gym leader's Pokemon, and that's Houndour and Murkrow, which is kind of funny because Murkrow's a bird, like the first gym leader's Pokemon. But these two Pokemon could definitely pose quite a challenge for new trainers. Definitely more of a challenge than Faulkner, that's for sure, who doesn't even have any Johto native Pokemon. Like, what the heck, dude? You had one job, you're in Johto. Next up is our boy Bruno, and his team in Johto is so much easier to compile because we're just gonna give him a Tyrogue and a Hitmontop. But I wonder what the story would be behind this. Since we did a Kanto reverse video, does he leave Kanto as the third gym leader to travel to Johto and then he becomes the second gym leader? I feel like there's some good lore we can make up for this, but for now we'll just go ahead and put a pin in it. After that, it's the final gym leader of Kanto in reverse, and that's our boy Koga. And he's got a Pineco, Venonat, and an Ariados, so I guess you can say he's kind of a bug type specialist this time. Either way, his story behind his journey from Kanto to Johto is a lot easier to run with. Quite simply, he's retired, and being retired, he decided to move out to Johto to relax and take in the scenery. But he often finds himself missing the role of a gym leader, so he decided to dip his toes back into it, and he runs a small dojo, the third gym. I don't know, this kind of works now, doesn't it, if you think about it? Oh, and if you haven't seen the Kanto reverse video yet, do yourself a favor and check that one out after this one. Moving on to the final Elite Four member turned gym leader, and that's Will. He's still got his mask and three pretty dominating psychic type Pokemon, a Girafarig, Espeon, and his ace Xatu. Hey, it's me. Now you might be wondering, why doesn't he have 4 Pokemon? Well, I'm trying very hard to follow the team numbers of the original Johto gym leaders, and there's just no sugarcoating it. They suck. So work with me here, we're gonna do our best. But that's 4 gym leaders down and 4 more to go. Next up is the 5th gym leader, Claire, and she's got a Gyarados, Dragonair, and her ace Kingdra, really full sending the whole Dragon Master of the Sea thing. I wonder if she still cries after you beat her and claim your badge. But I gotta be honest with you, this one feels super weird being only 3 Pokemon, but like we said before, we're trying to keep it authentic to the original teams, and like, what are we gonna do, just give her another Dragonair? And she pretty much has the same team, so no thank you. Take the blue snake away. Next up is Old Man Price, and he's got somewhat of a glow up. Being the 6th gym leader and rocking the ice type, you don't really get to come across many good counters. Maybe a couple of rock types, almost no fire types, and steel types? You wish. So good luck going up against his team of Dugong, Lapras, Sneasel, and his ace Pillow-Swine. Oh yeah, he's got speed, bulk, and a pretty solid attack, and I really like how his team ended up. And that's why I feel like this gym would give most trainers a run for their money. But what do you think? Now it's time to check out the Lighthouse and challenge Jasmine, the 7th gym leader. And man, oh man, does she have kind of a stacked team. She's got a Magneton, a Skarmory, who I always forget is a Gen 2 Mon. Like, for the longest time, I always thought Skarmory was Gen 3. Come on, like, I can't be the only one that thought this. Oh, and she's got an Ampharos since she nursed it back to health at the Lighthouse and whatnot. Yeah, I know it's not a steel type, but it does learn Iron Tail, so calm down. Oh, and for her ace, she's got a gigantic Steelix. But to be honest, a solid ground type would do some nasty work against her team. Just watch out for that metallic bird. And finally, for the last gym leader of Johto, we've got Chuck, and his team is a pretty solid one. He leads with a Primeape who knows Rock Slide and can easily counter opposing bird Pokemon. Then he's got the 2 Hitmons, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, to deliver quite a punch and a couple kicks apparently. But we can't forget about his trusty gym bro Poliwrath, who not only trains with Chuck, but helps him squash challengers. And for his final Pokemon, he's got a Heracross because, well, it's a Gen 2 fighting type, and I feel like Heracross could use a bit more love. But there you have it. That is the brand new reverse gym leader lineup of Johto. Now it's time for the Elite Four, and the first member is none other than Morty. And being a ghost type specialist, we run into the same problem good old Agatha had in the original Gen 1 games. There's just not enough ghost types. So instead, we're gonna make him a mixed specialist that specializes in dark, spooky Pokemon. So his team is comprised of a Misdreavus, Umbreon, 2 Gengars, and his ace, Houndoom. Listen, man, I don't want to argue about this one, so if you guys have a better suggestion, well, I'm all ears in the comments down below. But if you manage to beat Mordecai here, then you move on to everyone's original nightmare, and that's Whitney. And yup, as the second Elite Four, she's probably 10 times harder now. But let's check out her lineup. She's got a Clefable, Lickitung, Boros, a Snorlax, and oh my god, yup, you guessed it, her ace, Miltank. Man, all those
This would be so easy as a game. Comments?
are pretty quiet now. Either way, she'd make you or break you. But if you do manage to get through her hellish team, then you get to go up against Bugsy, the bug type Elite Four, which is always tough to make. So I tried to really bring out their absolute best with a Fortress, Yanma, Pinsir, Beedrill, and their ace Scizor. Massive weaknesses towards fire types, but that Pinsir does know a few rock type moves, so let him cook. And finally, the final Elite Four is none other than Faulkner, and yes, he finally has some native Johto Pokemon. Only took him never, but he still got his trusty Pidgeot. However, now he's got a Noctowl, Gligar, Dodrio, and a Crobat, who all have an immunity to some type or another, making Faulkner actually really kind of a challenge. But now let's just say you managed to beat all the gym leaders and all the Elite Four members, then you get to go up against the champion of this region, and it's not who you might think. No, the champion of this Johto League is going to be Usein from Pokemon Crystal. Why? Well, because he's a really cool character that needs a bit more love, so he's going to be the champion for today's video, and his team is designed to crush you. He's got an Electrode, a Jumpluff, and an Alakazam, but that's not what makes him so devastating. No, it's the fact that he's got all 3 legendary beasts, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. So good luck getting through this guy. Probably a good thing this isn't an actual ROM hack yet. Thanks for watching. Check out this video next and see you soon. Bye.